Advertising. I did not do much advertising, as an advert placed in, say, a monthly magazine is dead after a few months, when all the copies of that month's magazine have been discarded. What I did was go to a local library to borrow a copy of the Yellow Pages directory for a particular area. I would look up businesses that would be likely to buy my products and carefully write down all the addresses. When I got home, I would copy these addresses onto envelopes, insert a copy of my leaflet, stick on a stamp, and drop them in the post box. After several months of steady work, I found I had covered the whole of the country. I kept a record of all the resultant sales that I received, and was able to see which areas of the country were most profitable and what percentage of the leaflets I had sent out resulted in orders. Throughout the whole of the country, this averaged at about 5%, which is what other people have found for this type of marketing. After a couple of years, the leaflet had grown to a small catalogue, and so I found a better way of sending these out. I approached Yellow Pages and found that they were able to offer all the addresses of a particular trade classification printed on sticky labels. These I just stuck on the envelopes and saved myself a lot of work. One point to note in buying mailing lists is that the cost is for one mailing only. One of the addresses supplied is bogus and connected with the list supplier, and so they would receive a copy of my catalogue and know what I was sending out was all above board and legal. In addition to which, had I pulled a fast one and copied the list of addresses onto a second set of envelopes for use at a later date, they would have received a copy and known I had done a double mailing. They would then have charged me a second time. This system was very successful, and many of my customers would send repeat orders and stay with me for years. A further advantage was that many people would file the catalogue away in case they had a need in the future. I have known orders come in from people who received the catalogue as much as 5 years before. Distribution. Getting the goods out to the customer was done in two ways. Although a few customers were local and delivered personally, most were in other parts of the country, and so had to be sent by post or carrier. Small consignments were put in jiffy bags and taken to the post office every day. Simple. Heavier consignments were more difficult. Some carriers were not interested in small customers, but I did find one who was. This was also more time-consuming than the post, as there were consignment notes to make out, and the goods had to be packed in strong cardboard boxes and weighed. The carrier would then call every afternoon to collect whatever parcels I had got ready for him. Since every consignment was different, it would have been impossible to work out the carriage charge until after the goods had been packed. To get round this, I charged a standard rate based on the lowest of the carrier's prices. This happened to be the cost of a 5 kilogram consignment. If the consignment weighed over 5 kilogram, then it was obviously a larger order and more profitable, so I could afford to cover the extra carriage charge out of the profit. If it was lighter than 5 kilogram, as most were, then the extra money I was making after the postal costs helped to pay for the cost of the packing material, etc. I did not use this system on eBay, which is much more competitive, but worked out the postal costs, including the cost of a jiffy bag, and included this when listing.